Hello there, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and I am your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. Now today I'm going to answer a question from a viewer and a very honourable patron, a gentleman called Pete, who has written to me and asked what could be seen as a relatively straightforward question, but there's a bit more to the answer than you might think. Pete asks, what is the difference between a dressing gown, a lounge gown and a bathrobe? What should I look for in each, and can I wear a fez with one? Great question, superb. And when it comes to comfort wear that we can choose to put on at home, the terms dressing gown, lounge gown and bathrobe, I think, over time have all merged into one, and we tend to think of the term dressing gown covering everything, but there are some subtle differences between these garments that Pete has mentioned, which, if you understand what they each are and the role that they can fulfill in your life, it can make you a little more stylish and a little more practically prepared for what life may throw at you. Let us begin with the dressing gown, this ubiquitous term which tends to be applied to all of these kind of household garments, but actually there are some distinct differences between dressing gown, lounge gown, bathrobe. We're going to come to understand them all in a moment. Now, the dressing gown is designed to be a versatile yet elegant garment which has a leaning towards style but also for comfort. It can be worn over one's nightwear or over one's daywear, depending on the time of day. Now, typically, a dressing gown will be of higher quality, made of top quality materials. Often it'll be silk, it will be satin, of course can be made of anything either, but the better ones tend to be made of the better material, often with a bold pattern. Often you will see a lavish, often padded shawl collar. Pockets, definitely, and with a belted waist, worn way beyond the knee, so mid-calf. It's quite a big garment. Now, of course, they can be lined if it's for winter wear, or unlined if it's something you choose to wear around the house in daytime. And as I say, there's definitely an element of style here. Now, if you want to see the finest dressing gowns that you will see anywhere in the world, you only need to go to Jermyn Street in London, and as you walk along you will come across the end of the arcade and you will see a double-fronted store called New and Lingwood. I have walked past their store many times over the decades and absolutely lusted over the amazingly designed dressing gowns in the windows of that store. The vintage silk prints, the most amazing geometric patterns, they are beautiful. That is what a dressing gown is really all about. They often feature piping and, as I say, the most magnificent materials and patterns you will find. And mind you, if you go to New and Lingwood, they're not cheap. Thousands of pounds is the price you will pay, but that is the classic gentleman's dressing gown. Now, I guess if we throw back into the Victorian era, in a time before central heating, houses in these big Victorian houses would have been rather chilly. And when a gentleman came indoors from the winter day, he would have taken off his overcoat, and of course he would have been in need of something to keep warm when he was at home. And the way I think of a dressing gown, it is in essence an indoor overcoat for a time perhaps when it's really chilly and you want that big, long, all-encompassing padded garment on, which is going to keep you warm and snugly at home. I always think in my mind of Sherlock Holmes. In those movies and in the literary works, he was always portrayed in his home at Baker Street wearing a big padded dressing gown to keep warm in the daytime. So that is your classic dressing gown. And as I say, you need look no further than the magnificent examples available from New and Lingwood. I'll get there one day. I will own one at some point in my life, but they are the aspirational dressing gown for any gentleman. Now let's talk about the lounge gown, because do you know what? There's not a great deal of difference between a dressing gown and a lounge gown. However, there is a few things different going on. Now the lounge gown is designed to be for relaxed casual wear at home. As its name suggests, it's a lounging gown really. And as a result of that, it tends to be more simple than a dressing gown. Instead of being made of quality, silks and satins, it's going to be made of cozier, softer material, like jersey, like even microfiber. These nice, warm, snuggly, fleecy type garments these days. They're not going to be of such high quality. They're not likely to be beyond the knee in many cases. They will have a belted waist, but they will have less adornments. So they're less likely to have a breast pocket. They're less likely to have, the sort of higher quality cuff decoration that you will typically find on a dressing gown. And if they have a shawl collar, it certainly will just be made of the same material. It won't be made of a padded material as the finest dressing gowns will. So it's all about comfort and ease of wear when it comes to the lounge gown. They're also easy to take care of because there's something made of different material. So you can normally just throw them in the washing machine without need to worry about it at all. Unlike a dressing gown, of course, which because of its high quality manufacturing processes would need to go to the dry cleaner. So in the modern world, I think the vast majority of us, and I include myself in this, when we think of a dressing gown, what we've actually got at home is a lounge gown, because the dressing gown is that step up that we probably do not own. But yep, the lounge gown, what's probably hanging on the back of your bathroom door? It's simple, it's casual, but it does the job. Now we arrive at the final garment in our trifecta of loungewear, and that is the bathrobe. And as its name suggests, clearly advertised, it is designed with one purpose in mind, that is to wear after a bath or a shower at the end or beginning of a day, and it's designed to help us dry off after we have washed ourselves. And it's designed to keep us dry and keep us warm. It's as simple as that. It's a utilitarian garment rather than designed for elegance or style. And as a result, it's typically made of highly absorbent materials. So we're talking about terry cloth, cotton, microfiber again, something which is going to help keep us dry. Dry the water, wick the water off our body after we've had that bath. It's normally made of something like toweling, as I say, because that makes it nice and fluffy, absorbent, and it's going to do its job for us as best as possible. Now, as I say, they're not fancy. They tend to be quite large and, bulky to do their job. Basically, you're just wearing a towel that's been formed into the shape of a garment. Now, they'll often have normally a shawl collar. They might even have a hood. They normally have deep pockets, and they will typically have a belted waist. But as I say, it's designed entirely to be utilitarian and practical rather than stylish. This is not something a gentleman would look his best while sitting around the house, in like Sherlock Holmes. It's something with a practical application, and as I say, probably best kept hanging on the back of the bathroom door for the occasion when you need it after you've taken your ablutions at the end of a day. Okay, so to sum up, in simple terms, the dressing gown, elegant, versatile, made of high quality materials, designed to be worn in the daytime at home to keep warm and cozy and to add a stylish elegance to the gentleman while he's at home. The lounge gown, it's cozy, it's practical, it's designed really to keep you warm and snuggly without any leanings towards elegance. And the bathrobe, basically practical and absorbent. That's what that is all about. Those are the three different categories in which we think about the loungewear as it's typically designed. Now, to answer Pete's question, can he wear his fez with any or all of these items? Well, I would say, Pete, yes you can. You can wear your fez, as I do, with anything, be it a chore jacket or your dressing gown at home. Of course, if you wear it at home, you're going to look less of a fool, as I do, sitting here in an empty field wearing a fez with the animals of Mother Nature looking at me like an idiot. But there we go, we're all different. So, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, subscribe. If you'd like to send me a message, send me a question like Pete. Do it by email, drop it into the comments. You can support the channel by buying me a coffee or become a patron. I make extra videos for my patrons every day. So, until the next time, wear the right garment for your situation. A dressing gown, a lounge gown, or a bathrobe. And I'll see you again very soon.